Yes, I know I've been absent for almost 2 weeks now, but just like the Avatar, I have returned. It's the Black Critic Guy, and I know, yes, I've been absent for almost 2 weeks. I apologize for the lack of content. Just been very busy, and I'm not gonna lie, pretty lazy. But I've returned back now with a review of The Legend of Korra Season 2. So the story in The Legend of Korra Season 2 takes place after the events of Aang, who tried to take over Republic City and all that good stuff. And it follows Korra, who still is trying to learn the ways of air and also is trying to learn to connect with her spirit energy. Feeling like she hasn't reached her spiritual potential, her uncle Oona Locke volunteers his service to teach her the ways of the spirits. But unbeknownst to our heroes, Oona Locke has a secret plan to open up the spiritual portals to let the spirits back into the human world. And so it's up to Team Avatar to stop him. Now, the first season of The Legend of Korra I really loved. I mean, it had a great story, great characters, awesome animation and action. It was just a great package altogether with some few bumps here and there. So needless to say, I was very excited to see the second season, and when it finally wrapped up, I just marathoned right through it. And I gotta tell you guys, I enjoyed this season a lot, although I think they hit a lot of missteps, more than the first season and definitely more than the first series. But before you all turn into negative, angry spirits, let's talk about the good of the show. The animation, for the most part, was handled very well, especially during the action scenes. Very fluid animation. The story did take a few episodes to get going, but once it started going, man, was it thrilling and engaging throughout. I was drawn into the story and didn't keep my eyes off the screen. I just wanted to see what was going to happen next for Team Avatar. My favorite story in this entire season was the story about the first Avatar. Now, for those of you who have not seen the new season, I will not put a picture up of the first Avatar so I don't ruin anything for you. But the character is voiced by the guy from The Walking Dead. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm going to put it right here. I can't pronounce his last name. I know it's Steven, but he did a really good job at portraying the first Avatar, and he really fit the role. If you see how the first Avatar looks, you can see why they picked him to voice it. But yeah, the first Avatar's story was very enthralling. You get to see how this character became the first Avatar. It was really cool. Like, I could watch a whole season about the first Avatar. That's how good it is. And the animation is very old Asian style artwork, which is really cool to me. The characters, for the most part, are still very entertaining. I still love Bolin. Always brings out the good laughs. Mako still is kind of a badass. I did like that they gave him something else to do as a cop now, which was pretty interesting, and I would love to see more of that, hopefully in later seasons. Korra is still pretty cool, and Tenzin is awesome. I think the thing that I like the most in this season is actually we got some bonding moment with Tenzin, his family, and his brother and sister, and you could see there's a little bit resentment inside the family. Maybe not resentment, but the feeling of neglection. They actually shined a light on Aang that I thought they would never show, and I'm actually happy that they did. Because Aang was very focused on maintaining the world, you know, the duties of an avatar, that he kind of neglected his kids, and it shows in this season how Boomy and his sister, whose name I forgot, kind of felt left out, like they were the outcasts of the family, and Tenzin got all the attention. I liked seeing that. And their bonding moments were some of the highlights of this series. I actually loved the bond that these three shared. There are other interesting side characters in this show, like the first Avatar. I can't show a picture, but trust me, really cool. There's also this other character by the name of Eska, who is the daughter of Oona Locke, who is voiced by Aubrey Plaza, which honestly is the best casting that they've done for this show, because the character of Eska is this really dark and moody character who doesn't really smile or show any type of emotion except for maybe sad or angry, and they couldn't have picked a better person to portray that character than Aubrey Plaza. Not only were there some interesting side characters, but there are a lot of surprising cameos that you will not see coming, and I will not spoil them for you. And I actually liked where it ended, like how the last episode was handled. Everything about that was awesome, and I can't wait to see what the third season brings, because something happens at the end of the season to where it's a whole new world, literally. And that's actually all the things that I really liked about The Legend of Korra Season 2. Now we get to the bad. Now before any of you start turning into angry spirits, typing crazily on your keyboards, just know that I do like the second season. But the second season also has the most problems of any other Avatar season or series. The first and biggest problem of this season is the first 5 episodes. They were very disjointed and it looked terrible. The animation for the first time ever in any of the Avatar series felt very stilted, like they just didn't do anything special with the animation. None of the characters, including the main characters, were interesting in the first 5 episodes. It just felt like they were going through the motions. The story and pacing was all over the place, like there were many stories going on at the same time and none of them really got as much attention as they needed. They didn't pace it right. There were a total of 3 stories going on in the first 5 episodes. Each one of them kind of didn't flow right. And honestly, that is the worst impression that you can give me after coming off of a good first season, to start off your second season kind of terribly. Another problem that I had with this second season was actually Korra. What happened to her? She's not the same character that she was in the first season. And I know what a lot of you are going to say, well, she's grown as a character, no duh, she's not the same character. But what I mean by that is that her fun-loving nature is no longer there. She has become very stern and stoic, especially in the first 5 episodes. There wasn't anything really fun about her. At least in the previous series, Aang did accept the role as the Avatar, but he still kept that fun personality that made us like him. In this one, Korra doesn't really act like Korra like she was in the first season. She acts like a totally different person that I've never seen before. They easily could have made her a mature character, but still keeping that whimsical and fun nature about her. And speaking of Korra, oh my god, guys. Korra and Mako's relationship. I'm sorry guys, that relationship gives me a really bad headache. I mean, you talk about pointless and useless drama. It is prevalent in this season because of Korra and Mako's relationship. And it all is just bullshit. It has no real reason to be there. And then, guess what? The love triangle's back. Just what I wanted. The biggest problem that I had with the first season was that stupid ass love triangle that had no reason being in that season. And again, it had no reason to be in this season. I don't know why they brought it back. We have enough drama dealing with the world coming to an end. What we need to add these 3 people's relationships? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry to go off like that, but seriously, what a waste of time. There is no point. It does not propel the characters anywhere, and it just easily could have been taken out. Easily could have been taken out. But I will give this season props for how they dealt with the relationship at the end of the show, because I thought that was handled perfectly. The last big problem that I have with this show was actually the introduction of some new characters and the lack of development or even screen time for some of the characters that we used to like. Like Bei Fong is barely in this show and she barely does anything. This girl was a badass in season 1 and she gets demoted to side character status. It kind of broke my heart. But besides her getting no development, we got some new characters that I felt like, well, I don't like them. And I know you're not supposed to like them, but still, they put them in the show, and honestly, they easily could have been taken out of it. The first ones I want to talk about is these 2 Moustache Detectives. I didn't like them at all. They really served no point in the show. I mean, if you were to take them out, nothing would really change. If you were to put Bei Fong in the situations that these 2 got in, I think I would have liked it a lot more. Another character that I really didn't like, and this is more of a personal opinion, is Varric, the eccentric businessman from the south who makes the movers. I didn't like his character. He was just annoying. He got in the way too many times. I will say that he does become a bit more interesting later on in the season, but his introduction was half-assed and I didn't like it at all. But probably the biggest waste of potential for any of the new characters in this season was our main villain, Oona Locke. There's nothing really interesting about him and he's not that menacing. He is honestly the weakest villain in any of the Avatar series. Not only is he the most uninteresting and weakest of all the villains in Avatar, but he's also the most cliche of them all. And I know you're all gonna say, well, you know, most of the Avatar villains all wanted power at some way, shape, or form. But it was still interesting because of the way they executed it. The way they executed Oona Locke's plan was so uninspired and straight up cliche that I honestly didn't care. And he is weak as a character. There's nothing really interesting or mesmerizing about him. There's nothing appealing. But overall, although I had some major problems with this season, that does not deter the fact that I did have a lot of fun watching it. It still has all the characters that I know and love. I enjoyed seeing them. Awesome action scenes, some great animation. It really picks up after episode 6 in the story and animation, and that's why I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I still think that it's definitely worth watching, especially for fans of Avatar or even the Legend of Korra. You should definitely go check it out. But anyway, what did you guys think of this new season? Did you like it a lot? Did you find it boring and repetitive? Did you agree with all the problems that I had with the show, or did you think I was a bit too harsh? And let me know, what is the best action scene you've ever seen in any of the Avatar series? Comment below, let me know. Also stay tuned, I will be seeing The Hunger Games Catching Fire tonight at 8 p.m. So stick around for the review tomorrow. But until then guys, hit that subscribe button if you're new to my channel. Welcome to the Black Critic Guy. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm Tony Watt II from the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace YouTube.